And let's get started with our first Hall of Famer who is still involved in high school sports. She excelled in the mid and late 90s at Park Center High School. She overcame injuries to have an outstanding high school career and won championships in college. We welcome 1997 Park Center graduate Jenny Hoffner, now Wagner, to our Hall of Fame.
It was shocking, really flattering, just because you do put a lot of time and effort into things that you were really passionate about in high school and a lot of dedication. But I was completely shocked, and when I got the email from you, I was in Cooperstown, New York for my son's baseball tournament, so I also was kind of in a different world, focused on that stuff too, so it was even more shocking, but really, really pretty cool to be recognized for that.
Hoffner was best known as a sharpshooter on the basketball court, but excelled in 3 sports at Park Center.
Yeah, I loved going to Park Center. It was really cool to be a part of soccer, basketball, and track, and then also be involved with some other school activities and the relationships they were able to make with some of those teammates and some of those other friends of yours. And a lot of those teammates were in my wedding and we're still really good friends today.
Jenny became Park Center's first 1,000-point scorer in girls basketball and was a 2-time team MVP. She was an All-State and All-Star game pick in soccer and a 2-time team MVP there as well, and won a section title as a freshman 400-meter runner in track. It's become increasingly rare to see 3-sport athletes at a high level in high school. Hoffner says the basketball court was her top priority, but is glad to have played them all.
You know, basketball was something I was more passionate about from a younger age, but I did have an enjoyment for all 3 of those sports. I thought they kind of balanced each other well, they complemented each other, and I enjoyed sports that I was able to be really active with. I know my mom jokes all the time that I played softball when I was younger, and I probably either should have been a pitcher or a catcher so that I was always doing something, but when I was not doing something, I just had a tendency to get a little bit distracted.
You can't really tell the Jenny Hoffner story without mentioning her serious knee injuries that interrupted her high school career in a big way.
When I did get hurt, I tore those, my right ACL when I was a sophomore and my left ACL when I was a junior. And it's tough because you're working towards a goal and then you just kind of get sidetracked a little bit, and then you have to figure out how you're going to be able to manage through it. And one of the hardest things was a lot of my teammates that I played AAU basketball with were getting, everything was about Division I and all this stuff. And when I tore my second ACL, a lot of these schools that still were kind of interested weren't really.
In a strange way, those injuries turned out to guide Jen on a path that led to great college success. He was on 2 NCAA Division II national championship teams and 1 runner-up squad at the University of North Dakota.
If I wouldn't have had my knee injuries, I don't know if I would have ended up at North Dakota. I don't know if I would have been able to have the experiences I had in Grand Forks. I don't know if I would have been able to, play in 3 national championship games and be able to be a part of the Fighting Sioux.
Hoffner earned academic all-conference honors and was a 3-year starter for the Fighting Sioux. She's still in the top 10 in career 3-pointers made in UND history. All thanks to that memorable jump shot that Park Center fans of that era remember well.
I don't know if perfect form, but I think that was, everyone kind of has there's something, and that was my strength, was being able to shoot. And that was something that I worked at, and I would much rather shoot a 3-pointer than try to drive in and try to do some fancy finish at the rim, so I would much rather just take that kick out. So that was a strength that I felt like fit well with kind of our other team dynamics.
She's done a great job here at Forest Lake.
Basketball is still in her blood. Jen's been the head coach of the Forest Lake girls team since 2005 and led the Rangers to the state tournament the past 2 seasons.
That first spring in 2001, after I finished playing, I helped coach a high school soccer team in Grand Forks, and so that was my first experience. And then I had that 1 year where I coached at Park Center for girls basketball. So those were things that just kind of grew some of that interest. And then as a teacher, it just kind of fit really well with the teaching profession.
Coach Wagner says things have changed quite a bit since she played, with the rise of year-round basketball and also social media with all of its pluses and minuses. But the basics are still there.
kids are still kids, and they like to play, they like to participate, they like to know that you believe in them, they like to know that you think that they can do something great, and they want to be a part of something. And so being able to help facilitate some of that through coaching and teaching has been really rewarding.
Jen is now married with 3 kids and lives in Brooklyn Park. It's not tough to find information online about her playing days, but Wagner says only once in a while do her players realize she was pretty good back in the day.
I had an epic battle of horse with one of my other students, and so when I had this game of horse, one of my current players was like, "Wagner, why don't you ever play?" She's like, "I didn't know you could shoot like that." And I was like, okay, but it's just different, but it's cool when they see that, but it's also not really that big of a deal for them to know. They don't need to know that for them to, trust me as their teacher or trust me as their coach.
Jay, she had quite a run and had 2 siblings really that played a big part of her athletic career, her older brother Ron, her younger sister Shelley.
Yeah, she called getting to start with Shelley when she was a senior and Shelley was a sophomore, one of her biggest thrills in high school sports. And boy, it kind of tells you something about perseverance too, to have serious knee injuries 2 seasons in a row as a high school athlete has to be tough for anyone.
And she came through and it worked out great for her. Now great to see her still involved in high school athletics.
And congratulations to our newest Hall of Famer.